Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and yesterday was a very bad day for me. Not only did I lose my streak of over 100 on Wordle, which was very depressing. You can watch the video on the channel now. When the Wordle video takes over a minute, as it often does when there's a fail, it goes on as a video on the main channel. Because YouTube only allows shorts to be under 1 minute long. So that was a bad start. Then in the evening, I commemorated Scott Williams' birthday on the wrong day. It's actually today. Happy birthday again, Scott. Although, to be fair, you won't have seen yesterday's video until today. So what else did I do? Well, I definitely made a mistake while solving the puzzle, as dozens of you were kind enough to point out in the comments, and you were quite right. So for some reason, the way my brain exploded yesterday, I'm just going to do this before we do anything today, is I looked at this digit and said, oh, if it was 8, that would be a 7 and that would be a 9 in this box. And the other digits in the box, for some reason I decided they had to add up to 7 on that arm and that arm. And then these would have to add up to 7, but since those added up to 7, it was nonsense. Well, that was nonsense. That was nonsense by me. For some reason, I wanted arrows, digits on an arrow that had 8 in the circle to add up to 7. And I don't know what happened to my brain, but a couple of people explained nice ways to progress at this point. And that is very much the constructive way to pass the comment. Adam Dobrovolsky had a decent one, but EOD Tex had a really nice explanation of considering where 9 and 3 are in this column. If that was an 8, intriguingly 3 can't go in the 15 cage. And therefore 3 and 9 would only have those 2 places to go, and neither of them can be in this spot because we can't have either a 5 or a -1 in this cell. Which was a really nice way of explaining that that was 9, and then the solve would progress as expected for the rest of the hour. So in that hour, I did make one mistake. 1 or 2 people commented they thought I would pick up the mistake and go back and fix it. That's quite unlikely when it turns out the digit I'd put in was right. I'm not going to find out that I made that mistake. I don't see how you expect me to be alerted to that later in the solve. Anyway, thank you for those people who did point out what I should have been doing. And that was... no, I'm not finished with yesterday's puzzle. Because Scott's mum, Emily, also sent me a planned present for him. So I'm glad I didn't do this yesterday, just in case. She's created this cushion cover now. Can you see that? No. Let me see how I can make sure you can see that. 1 second. There. So Emily has created this cushion cover, and I think it's extraordinary. If you look at it carefully, you can see that there are different symbols in each cell of this grid. There are numbers, little killer clues outside the puzzle telling you the subtotals of the diagonals. The 30 is in red because that's Scott's age. And this is it's a puzzle that you could solve, and it's not hard, but I will put a link to that puzzle in the description field under the video. So under the link to today's puzzle, you can just solve that if you want. It took me less than 2 minutes, I'll tell you that. But that's because, I've created a grid with colours and 1 or 2 shapes. If you're colourblind, you won't love it. But it's just a bit of fun. But it's excellent. So well done, Emily. That's really extraordinary. Scott's lucky to have you as mother. And now, there we go. Yes, you can see today's puzzle. This has come in from Eric Rathbun. It has come in before from Eric Rathbun, possibly about a year ago, but it somehow didn't get tried on the channel. I'm going to give it a go. Eric does occasionally resend puzzles, and I will say sometimes Eric, the puzzles don't make it because we try to make a video and we get stuck because you send extremely hard puzzles. So I may be absolutely mad in trying to attempt this today after all of that brain explosions yesterday, but that is the plan. And we'll have a look at that in a moment. Now, on Patreon, it is nearly time up on the clone pack by Skojojo. You have until 4 p.m. our time tomorrow if you want to enter the competition. They have done some videos of the solutions. We'll put them up at some point on Patreon for the $3 a month subscribers and above. And very well done if you got through that pack. There's some tough puzzles there. We're looking forward to bringing you a different pack on the 1st of September, which is in the works. Good news. And what else have we got going on? We've got all kinds of content on Patreon, crosswords, connections, including today, and all sorts of other things. So do check it out. And all of our apps, of course, which now include CTC's new Approachable Sudoku #1 app. And that has come out last week. Do try our apps. Go to the CTC app in the links under the video if you're on iOS or Android, or if you want Steam, you can check out the individual items. And again, in the description field, along with Sven's SUDOKU pad, which is marvelous, and our merch. Check it all out. But the first link is to this puzzle, which is called This Plus This Equals That. An equation I think we can all get behind, by Eric Rathbun. And Eric's brilliant. We've had 15 of his puzzles before. As I said, not always the easiest, but always great fun, always something to learn. I'm just looking at a really annoying pigeon sitting on a wall right outside my window. Anyway, we are going to go through the rules of this now. So the rules are these. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Along an arrow, the digits on the arrow sum up to the number in the circle. White dots separate consecutive digits. Black dots separate digits with a 1-to-2 ratio. There may be other places where dots could go and they're not shown. Give it a try on the first link under the video. I am going to start now and say, not with that button, with this button, and say, let's get cracking. Okay, so there are some boxes that are fuller than other boxes, like box 4 and box 6 and box 8. I mean, box 2 is almost as full as those, but it doesn't have a dot here. It has a dot here instead. What do these add up to? Don't know. Oh, and column 9 is full of dots. Right, here's a deduction. No, it doesn't quite work. I was thinking about parity on those dots. If that one was one of the 2 black dot pairs that are both even, 2, 4 or 4, 8, then all of these would be odd. But we haven't got that information. Okay, here is a little tip. When you get an arrows puzzle and the arrows are all in different rows and columns from the circles, do be prepared to think about set theory. So I'm talking about this first step from the circle being diagonal. That's always a bit of a, I mean, I'm not certain this is right today, but it might be a clue. Yeah, look at this. Let's make this column red and this box yellow. And this box green and this column purple. And then Yeah, look what happens. Oh, it's going to be better in column 9 than column 1. If we eliminate, right, so obviously, let me explain the basis of set theory. I don't have any Scrabble bags, but obviously the red column contains the digits 1 to 9. Obviously the yellow box contains the digits 1 to 9. Same is true for the green box and the purple column. That's by rule in Sudoku. Every one of those areas contains 1 to 9. Now, if we eliminate these 3 cells, we're left with 6 cells in yellow, which are the same as the 6 in red, because we took out 3 cells that were 3 digits that were common to both sets. Now what we can do is say that these 2 yellows, by the arrows rule, add up to the same as this red cell. So now we can't say we've got the same digits, but we can say we've got the same totals in yellow and red. And we can do the same here. And we've still got the same totals in yellow and red. Now we know a bit about the total in yellow, which is that it's one of not very many possibilities. It's an odd total. And that's not actually very helpful in column 1. It's going to be much more helpful over this side where we've got all the dots, I believe. So we eliminate purple and those 3 cells that are in both purple and green. Then we eliminate the total of that arrow and the total of this arrow from both green and purple. Now we know that these 2 green cells add up to the same total as the purple cells. Yeah, so I get my conclusion that I wanted earlier, which is that since the green total is odd and the total of this domino is also odd because of the white dot, the total of this pair is even. And there's always at least one even on a black dot, so now these must both be even. So I'm going to colour them blue instead, which is a bit of a risk, but remember that blue plus purple equals green. So this could be an 8-4 pair, although those digits are quite high. Alternatively, it's a 2-4 pair. Those are the even pairs. There's definitely a 4 here, the even black dot pairs. Now, the next thing I wanted to do in this column is say that there must be an even digit here, because that's 1 even and 1 odd on a white dot. Same here, and that's all 4 evens accounted for. So now these are all orange. They're all odd. Good thing I hadn't used orange in my colour scheme before. And now I'm starting to think maybe it doesn't help that much, but let's try and do the totals of blue plus purple against green. If that was 8 plus 4, we're already up to 12. The maximum here is a 9-8 pair is 17. So the maximum here would be a 2-3 pair equaling 5. So this would either be 1-2 or 2-3. Now, if this was a 2-4 pair, that's 6. The minimum this could be actually, the even digit would have to be a 6. Oh, the minimum it could be is 5-6, which gives us 17. So the total of this is always 15 or 17, and it always uses an 8 as its even digit. And that's not quite as conclusive as I wanted. We've either got 8-4 here, and 1-2 or 2-3 there, and 7-8 or 8-9 here. Or, oh, I haven't written the things. It's 2-4 here, and then 6-5 here. The odd thing about that to me is that 8-4 felt a lot more restrictive, but turns out to have 2 options up here, whereas 2-4, because of the even digit thing, okay, it won't work with 2-4 down here and 6-5 up here, because the even digit on this white dot would have to be an 8, and we're putting an 8 there. So bingo, we've got an 8-4 pair there. This is now using the 2. It's 1-2 or 2-3. This is using the 6 as its even digit, this white dot. And one of these is 9. 9 can't go in those cells, so it's either on that white dot or it's literally here. Now, if it was there, what would these be? They wouldn't be both 7 and 5, because that would break that. So the maximum they could add up to is a 7 and a 3. And these would be 1, 2, 3, 4 to make 10. And that does work. So I couldn't quite rule out 9 being on that white dot. But we've got these down to some interesting pairs. Now, does that look across here? Okay, it does, because 8 has been used here. Now, if... Right, what is the even digit on the yellow? It's not 4 or 2. If it was 4 even, then 4, 5 is the maximum here. But remember, yellow equals the total of red. So 9, the minimum for red is 1, 2, 3, 4 is 10. So this can't be using 4 or 2. It's using 6 as its even digit. And now there's a 5, 6, 7 triple. And in fact, that's not 6. This is. There's our first digit in a most unexpected place. Somewhere that just was a ramification of the things we were looking at. Now, we've got that 5, 6, 7 triple. That has made this an 8, 9 pair. I'm not sure that that is going to actually fill in this box or this column, but... Oh, yes, it does. 17 minus 12 makes this 5. So that's a 2, 3 pair. Now, there's a 1 in the column, and that can't go in one of these circles, so that goes here. Now the circles are either 9 and 5 or 9 and 7. And I'm wondering if we know... No, I don't think we do know which. We've got 2, 3, 4 and either 5 or 7 to put here. If this was 2, 3, 4, 5... Oh, yeah, that wouldn't add up to 9 and 7. So this is 2, 3, 4, 7 in these cells, adding up to 9 and 5 here. And that's a 7. And this is a 5, 6 pair, which add up to 11, and these red cells are 1, 2, 3, 5. Isn't that a gorgeous start to the puzzle? It's so deep and clever and just brilliant. Now, where do we go next? I tell you what, we've gone wrong. Yeah, I've gone wrong. So... There we go, I did spot it. Oh, well, I spotted this wrongness today. Now, I got here, and I said these couldn't be 2, 3, 4, 5. And that was absolutely rubbish, because that would be 7, and this would be a 9, 5 pair. Oh, bother. I really liked that stuff. So, yeah, these are either 2, 3, 4, 7... and that's a 5. Yeah, then you'd have a 2, 7 pair adding to 9 and a 3, 4 pair adding to 7. Or these are 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have a 2, 5 pair. No, hang on. Yeah, you have a 5, 4 pair adding to 9 and a 2, 3 pair adding to 5. Oh, blow. Okay, so that doesn't get us through working out how to disambiguate this lot. Now, that is 2, 3, or 4 on a black dot. Thrilling, eh? We've got that 5, 6, 7 triple, so everything else in the middle row is 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now, okay, yellow is adding up to either 11 or 13. Ooh, well, that's getting quite tight. If they were 11, 1, 2, 3, 5, that would be a 4. If they were 13, they're definitely going to include a 1, so there's never a 1 there. And we can do some things with 9 in this box. Oh, that's very nice. Where's 9 in this box? It's in one of those two cells. Where's 8 in this box now? That wasn't such a good question a second ago. Now it's a good question, because it can't be on this arrow anymore, because that would be a 9, but we've just put 9 in one of those two cells. So now this 9 pair, or pair of cells that could contain a 9, has to contain a 9 and an 8. And now these are shrinking by the moment. In fact, This white dot is resolved. This can't be a 9 or 8 would be both there and there. So this is an 8, that's a 9, this is a 7. This pair adds up to 7 and it doesn't use a 1. That again is 2, 5 or 3, 4, which seems to be pairs that are forming regularly. I'm left with a 1 in this cell and either, well, not a 7. Where does 7 go in this box now? It doesn't go here. So 7 is definitely in one of these cells. They are not 5, 6 pair as I concluded earlier. They're a 6, 7 pair. Red adds up to 13. Plus 9, 8, 7 is 37. These two cells add up to 8. That one can't be a 4 because they'd both be 4s. This is now 5 or 6. And the other digit on this arrow is a 4 or a 5. Okay, which fits in with everything else, but doesn't let me resolve everything. Now, this is very neat stuff, isn't it, today? Okay, so, oh, we've now got a 7 in yellow, so that's a 5. That's quite big news. Now, this is a 9, 7 pair. These pairs are using 2, well, one of them's using 7, so that is also using a 2 to add up to 9. The other one is a 3, 4 pair, and that has quite serious effects either here on this arrow or here on this arrow. So if it's 3, 4 here, that's 2, 5, that's 1, 4, that's 3. If it's 3, 4 here, that's 1, 5, that's 3, 4, and that's 2. If it's 3, 4 here, that's a 2, and that's 1. Oh, we've got a 7 looking across the grid at another digit. Bingo. 9 there, 7 there. This is the 3, 4 pair. Oh, goodness, a bit of Sudoku suddenly thrown into the mix. That's challenging. Now, yeah, okay, that's going to sort out box 4 into pairs at least. That becomes a 2. Oops, a 2. This is now 6. Yes, that's on the arrow. Those don't have a 2 in. Now we can do other triples in the central rows. Right, that feels like progress to me. And red have become 1, 3, 4, and 5. I mean, I don't really need the colours in the grid anymore. They've all done their job very nicely. Now, I had planned ages ago to look at this set as well. So let's do that. Let's go purple and yellow this time. I don't know why. And then eliminate the equivalent digits and eliminate the totals here and just see if we get anything this time. We've got a black dot in the purple pair. Oh, well, that was the easier place to start all the time. The highest pair that isn't 8, 4 here is a 3, 6 pair, adding up to 9. Those can't add up to 9. They have to add up to at least 10. So that is an 8, 4 pair. That was huge. These add up to 12. Well, they don't include an 8. Once they've got a 4 in, which makes that a 1, these other cells are 1, 2, and 5, because that's the only way of getting 4 digits to add up to 12, including a 4, if they're different digits. Now, 8 in the bottom row goes there. The other digits, ooh, they're 3, 6, 7, and 9, and that one's not 9. Now, 8, oh, it's not helped. Anyway, let's get rid of a bit of pencil marking. I mean, there's probably a lot that I can do, because quite a lot has got unwound there. No, I don't know. If that was a 3, this would be 1 and 2. Yeah, that would be 3 and 5. That would work fine. If that was a 6, This would be 1 and 5. Oh, I see. Whatever digit is in here is going onto this arrow. Okay, well this arrow is not a 7, 1 arrow because neither of those can be a 7 or a 1. So it's either 2, 6 or 3, 5. And this digit is not a 7 because there'd be nowhere for 7 in the box. It's 6 or 3. And this is therefore 1, 5 or 1, 2. And I can write in the 1 and that is 2 or 5. I don't think I get any further. That's not a 1 and hasn't been for a while. One of those is a 1. Now, the lack of a dot here makes me think it's not worth doing the same up here, but I keep on being surprised by what's in the puzzle, so you'll never know. I'm gonna do this last set bit in exactly the same way as the others and just see if I learn anything. The 2 reds add up to the same total as the 4 blues. It just feels so much less helpful without a dot here of any kind. Oh, hang on, look at this 1, 5 on a white dot. That is either 2 or 4. Maybe I should think about this black dot. Oh, I mean, it's quite an interesting question where 9 goes in this column. There are still 2 places it could go, but it can't go on that arrow. And 7 can't go on this arrow either. In fact, this digit is not 8, and it's on a black dot. And it's in a circle, so it can't be 2 or 1. It is 6. Well, it's not 6. Oh, it's 4 or 3, and that's a pair in the column. That's a 2, that's a 1, that's a 5. Now, 3 is 3 or 4 are touching 6 or 2 or 8 there. But their pair here involves a 1. It's either 1, 2 or 1, 3. So that's not a 1. Now, there's a low digit here, 2 or 3. That's an effective 1, 2, 3 triple. So that's a 4. This is not 3, and this is not 2. That's not 4 now. So there's a 1, 2, 3 triple there. That's also not 2. That's not 2, obviously, and it's sitting right next to a 2. Now, is this pair any more interesting? Not. It can't contain 8 or 4, and it can't contain 1 now. That's not really very interesting. That dot did quite... Oh, we've still got that 3, 4 pair. 2, 1, 8. Oh, that 8 is looking at purple. That's good. There's a 4 in one of these cells. That's an X-wing, or rather, where does 4 go? Ah, where does 4 go in column 1? It goes up there, and therefore this circle is a 3. And that fixes 4, 3 here, which fixes the 4 we just found. That becomes a 6. We get a 2 in the corner. I wonder... Oh, 3 on the arrow gives 1, 2 there. This is now a 3, 5 arrow, which is going to make that a 2 and that a 3. 6, 7, 9 triple there. That's fine. That 3 looks up here and does 4, 3. The 1 goes there and makes that a 3. 2 is not there, so 2 is here in row 4. Now, this is getting much more constrained. This red area. The digits available now are 3, 5, 7 and 9, and they have to add to the same as blue. Well, it's not... Well, that can't be a 7. Maybe it's not very helpful yet, actually. Oh, I tell you what, 3 has to be in red. Now that is helpful. This is, in fact, by Sudoku, that is a 3. Right, so that can't be a 5 because blue can't add up to just 8. It also can't be a 7. The reason I know blue can't add up to 10 is because 3 has already gone in the row. So that's a 9. Blue adds up to 12. That was very helpful. This is 5 or 7 by Sudoku. Those aren't 9s. We've got a 5, 6, 7 triple. All right. Now, these add up to 12, and they've got to have a 1 in, clearly. And if they don't have 3 or 6, they're 1, 2, 4, 5. That one sees 3 of those digits. And the other 2 are a pair. And they're a pair that make this a 7, which makes this a 6, which makes this a 5. 6, 2, 1, 9 and 6 are resolved. I bet this cell is. Yes, it is. 7 and 9, 7 and 8. There we go. And we are flying now. 6, 9, 2, 8, 7. Where does 1 go in column 1? It goes in there at the bottom. That's a 2 because it can see a 5 above it. That's 7, 2, 6. That has to be 5 in this row. And I think we're sort of finishing off what felt like a very tough puzzle. 1, 3. Hopefully it isn't as tough as I thought it was going to be, and I've just made a mistake. That is possible. It does happen. Yesterday's testament to that. But we do try and keep them to a minimum. We're just, unfortunately, human, and therefore, that's a 1 and a 6. This is 8 and 9. This must be known. That's 5. That gives us 4 here. Let's get rid of all the colours, which again have done a great job actually. Have a feeling I approached the coloured bits in what turns out to be the right order, but I don't know. Anyway, there we go. What a fantastic puzzle. It's been on Logic Master Germany for a long time. 291 days and has 19 solves. I hope it gets more. It deserves it. This plus this equals that. I don't quite know what that means. Oh, I do, actually. It means this plus this equals that, as it did in every perimeter row and column. Yeah, I think that's what it means anyway. Fabulous stuff, Eric. Thank you for sending that. And thank you for watching us on the channel as always. Pleasure to have your company. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.